Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Marketflow, powered by Thor, presented by Mode. We're going to waste no time today. We're going to jump right into Thor. Why? Because the markets are making moves and we have been prepared for them. We see this 4-hour signal for Solana is just now triggering. We talked about this signal earlier in the week on our live streams and we were prepared for it, right? We knew this entry was here. You can see we've got a couple wicks into it, and right now we look to be pushing the zone up and out of it. RSI looks to be finding support. This is a short one with the take profit at about 150 here. So again, this isn't saying that, hey, this is going to be the bottom, right? Thor's not saying that this is the bottom. Thor was just calling this for a retest point, and we're going to see if we can punch back through this 150. Now, last stream I told you I'm not full bull until we get these supports, until we have the support on the RSI, until we have support on the short term and the long term, right? We got to get these EMAs to flip again. And really, it's not until we find support on this zone for me. For my personal TA, once we break and find support on top of this 160, I think we're ready to go. But until then, I think we may continue to fill out this pattern, right? This is the pattern that we established a while ago that we said seeing that lower high and lower lows, we could continue. Now that we've made the lower high, do we see the lower lows? And even filling out this Thor long call, by the way, would still be making a lower high, and we could be looking for that lower low. If we do press down, we know we've got another Thor call down here at $105 with a take profit point right on the resistance point of that first leg up at that 125 area. So again, this is could be looking to find support, maybe not saying this is the bottom. Thor has printed a big call for us all the way down here at the entry point of below $67, below $68, say. This is a big call with a retest of about, the midline of price action in that last run. So it's saying if we break down here, if we break down to below 68, look for us to pump back up and retest 100. And then we got to break through 100 to stay bullish, or we may break down further. If we do, we still have our long-term support in play, right? And we still have a little bit of a zone. I know this sounds bearish, but even all the way down here close to $50. We've had an incredible run up. Sol was leading very strong. I'm not saying we're going down there. I'm preparing you in case we do. Just like we need to look at the bullish scenario. If we do fill out this Thor long call, if we do break up and we fill this zone and find support on that 160 and continue, I know my next target to look to take profits is somewhere around $214. We've got a Thor long call from 219 to 210 approximately. Not saying that that's going to be the top of the market either, right? It's just telling us if we pump up to that 219 range, look for us to come down and retest, try to find support on this 170, just above the zone I need us to see support on to be bullish. We need to come down and find support on this again. We'll most likely retest it. So, where are we sitting right now? If I grab my measurement tool, I put put it on where price is right now. We've got approximately 45% up to the short, and we've got approximately 50% to our longest long call, and we've got about 25% to our next long call down. So you can see how we're really in an area where we can continue to range or break down, right? We don't know which way we are going. We just know how we are going to play if we get there. So, going back to Thor, we knew this zone was going to be there. So, how do you play this zone? If you wanted to take this call, you go in, you select Solana, we go into 4 hour, we focus on the 4 hour, and we focus on the daily call. So this is how you're going to take this call that Thor is printed. You can see it's become active because the zone has triggered, right? So you know you are going to buy between 143 and 144. You know your profit is 150. What this doesn't tell you in its current state is how to manage your risk, which is the other important part of trading. So, you know where you want to enter and you know where to take profit or to exit. But how do you manage your risk if you're a trader and you're not just looking to add to your spot bags for this bull run? Well, that's where you would go to this little tool right here, RM, risk management. You can see when you hover on it, set up trade. So again, you see your entry point and you see the exit point. But this is where you plan your trade so you can trade your plan. It's up to you to determine what your risk is here. What is the amount you are willing to risk in USD for this trade? Let's say the max you're willing to risk for this trade is $50. You're not willing to lose more than $50 on this particular trade. We hit calculate. I usually go here to the median range of Thor between the risk to reward ratios. Why not go with the median? So I know I'm going to buy 9.3 Sol, and I'm going to buy 9.3 Sol at that entrance at 143. I'm going to sell that 9.3 Sol at my take profit at 150. And if Solana drops down to 137.65, I'm going to sell that 9.3 Sol and cut my losses at $50. Let's look at another example just in case you don't have that large a trading account. Let's say $20. Same call, different example. Okay, now you know you're going to buy 3.73 Sol at 143. Sell that 3.73 at 150 and your stop loss at 137.65 to make sure you're not losing any more than $20. That's how you manage your risk. These are the powerful tools that Thor offers us. All right, let's go in and look at Bitcoin and see where we're at with Bitcoin, because Bitcoin's really taking a hit right now. It seems is one of the worst at the moment. Bitcoin, we have this call was actually invalidated. It was a very micro call. That one was invalidated. We do have another Thor long call sitting down here at entrance just below 59,400. So what Thor is saying, if we fall below 59,400, this call was actually already filled out. There you go. You can see this call down here, 59,400. If we hit entry there, look for us to pump up to 64,000. Take profit. That could be our breakout point, right? Remember, this is what we always want to see. We need to see the breakout. Otherwise, we're hitting resistance and we're going to continue looking for the lower lows. I've been saying this for a while. I really would not be surprised if we come down and refill this range and we either get the 56,000 or potentially the 52,000 entry on Bitcoin. That's a potential to pay attention for. But what do we have for Thor right now? Thor is saying if we drop below 60,000, look for us to retest 64,000 before we then decide if we're going to break out or if we're going to break down, right? So look for Thor to tell you these retest points. And remember, just like I said last stream and in the write-up, I'm not full bull until I get this breakout. We hadn't even met resistance yet, but I said we need to hold above the EMAs. We need to hold above the RSI. We need to break out above the downtrend. And currently, it looks like we've met the downtrend with resistance. We've found resistance on the EMAs, and it looks like we may be breaking back down on the RSI. So, again, we're not full bull until we get those indicators. We're talking about Bitcoin coming down, altcoins maybe coming down, the market moving sideways, getting boring. Guys, keep in mind the long-term targets of what we're looking at here. We started the stream with this last week. We're going to go to a weekly chart to really view this. Keep an eye on your long-term targets. Don't lose eye on the prize because of a couple red candles, right? What's happened every time that we've retested all-time highs? We've got some sideways shakeouts, sometimes 30% dips, and sometimes back-to-back 30% dips. Then we break out, RSI is peaking, we rage to all new high, right? Same thing, we're testing price action. We only took about a 17% dip here, but RSI was peaking out. We broke through those highs, made new all-time high. What are we doing now, right? The RSI is starting to break out on the weekly. We're back in long-term or in testing price action of the last high. Even if we do break this structure a little bit, guys, we're going through the halving. Keep an eye on the price. Look at the long-term target, not just the red candles and the numbers that say negative on your balance this morning when you log in, right? Keep your eye on the long-term price. Now, we're talking about Bitcoin and maybe altcoins being boring, right? There's sectors in the market that are going to move. Right here, I'm looking at Kira because Kira's back in our zone. Frogs fuck, Thor Prince. Kira's going to have its day. I'm not going to harp on it because I'm not trying to pump it, inflate it. That's not what we're here for. Do your own research. You'll figure out if you want it or not. But we'll look at something, say, one that's been leading the strongest, PopCat. PopCat and other meme coins, right? We're degenerates in this space. We can only be boring and sit complacent for so long. And this is exactly what we're seeing from certain sectors of the market. You see where the bottom was? We had the downtrend. Once we broke downtrend, found support, PopCat ended up making a giant leg up of almost or even to 300% up and is still sitting about 200% up from that, right? And that's from the breakout, not from the bottom, right? We're going to see degens. Let's look at Bonk. Bonk has been healthy. We're going to see degens and things that have coins and tokens that have just been pressed down for so long. You can only hold degens down for so long. They're going to go have their day somewhere. And I think meme coins may be it for a little bit, right? Same thing with Bonk. We see once Bonk broke out of the downtrend here, break, retest, found the support from not even the bottom, but Bonk did 100%. And if we look at it just from the break and where it found support again, even now it's still up 35%, guys. You know, that's pretty sweet when you're looking at Bitcoin and it's just been printing those red candles and everybody's talking about, man, this doesn't look good. We're going down. Keep in mind the long picture, right? Keep in mind the long picture. Keep in mind these Thor targets. But keep in mind, there's also games to be played, not financial advice. Do your own research. These things are risky, but Thor does offer calls for bulk. You know, so you could have played that well. Jupe, again, not financial advice. Do your own research. But Jupiter is back down close to $1. I think Jupiter is one of my highest conviction tokens for this entire bull run. Why? It has use case. It has a stellar team. I just see strong things coming from Jupe. You see, we did refill the zone. Throw the zone right here. We did come back in, fill this zone out. We look to be finding support on it or in it now. Jupe at $1 is a blessing. Not financial advice. Do your own research. But it looks like we've got what? Looks like we got the break and the retest, and we're looking pretty healthy. I'm not saying ape in, right? But if you're bullish on Jupe, down here near $1 is a pretty good area to DCA into. I'm going to talk about one more just because the cat is fat and I love it. And we actually had a little bit of a party with Chonky in New York City. And Chonky joined us on Spaces the other day and dropped some incredible alpha that I don't believe that they were supposed to. But what do we got, guys? Let's go ahead. We're going to draw our line down. We look like we've got the break, the retest, look to be testing support. We've come down, filled the zone. We're in the zone. I think Chonky's looking good. It's one that hasn't made that big run up after breaking out yet, right? You know, from the bottom, Chonky is up 35%, which is good. But from the breakout, it's right back down here retesting. So not financial advice. Do your own research, but this is how we look at charts in the market flow. We try to take from what is pumped, buy the things that are dumped and still low. Get ready for the ride up. Once again, you always have Thor to use, and if you're not much of a trader, if all this is new to you, but you know Frogs Fuck, you know Thor Prince, you want to get part of the ecosystem in the community, you want to start making bags, you may want to look into AutoThor. AutoThor is currently sitting with a TVL of just over $2.5 million. The average user that has money in AutoThor right now is at gains of approximately 46%. So if you weren't selling Solana up here at 192 and 192 and 202 and 208 and starting to buy it back here at 150, 140, 120 and buying again here at 140 now. If you are not to this education or confidence level, this is the power of AutoThor. Set it, forget it, let Thor print, pay some gains on your taxes, roll it in. It's a Thor 1K, right? Thor 1K. Frogs Fuck, Thor Prince. See y'all for the next episode of Market Flow.